te tomo a ti como mi esposa, hoy y para siempre, para tenerte y sostenerte, para bien o para mal, en riqueza o en pobreza, salud, enfermedad, para amarte y respetarte hasta que la muerte nos separe. Esa es mi solemne promesa.
Very interesting and honest, but very tragic depiction, but also somehow cute and empowering as well. They touch on very tough topics and with a very lovely and relatable story. They take us through this hard decision making for choosing yourself and loving yourself before everything else, and it's just beautifully told. I love the performances. They feel so natural. It's just totally plausible, and I'm glad this type of situations are portrayed, and specifically how this was handled. I really enjoyed
I
it.
really like the way that this film explored the themes of like love and fairy tales and growing up and motherhood and just like exploring all of that within the context of gender-based violence, and the way that it used dreams and visuals and butterflies to do that was, I thought, really great. I think the choice to focus on the fairy tale perspective of the world and that perfect kind of love and everything worked really well to show what the character was going through. And I loved the arc that we see the main character go through as she grows up. Really
So
great.
this is a very interesting movie. A lot of really interesting imagery with the dream sequences. The opening shots, with her in the coffin were very, very striking. And, because at first you think this is perhaps a horror movie and that this is really happening, but it's all symbolic, which is an interesting effect. And, the acting was very good. The lead actress particularly did a great job. Everybody on screen did a very good job. It was well directed, edited, a good script, and it was they're making a good statement against domestic violence, and the proper way to support people that are going through that by showing us an improper handling of it. The cutaways to the dream sequences, the fantasy parts where she's being wound up like a doll and all that. Those are very interesting and very striking shots. A lot of interesting imagery there. So good luck with this. I hope the message gets out and I hope it does well for the whole team.
Loved this. I thought this was really well done. I liked that they took the time to do certain things, like in the beginning when she's obviously like a little girl and she's like playing with her dolls and setting up the wedding and everything like that. I liked that they took the time to really set that scene and really kind of show its impact by taking the time for it in the beginning, because then they kind of reflect back on it again and again as it progresses. And so I really liked that they took the time and energy to kind of point it out at the beginning. And then the entire scene kind of in the desert when she initially is like up on the ballerina box, and then kind of that whole section all the way through almost to the very end, I just thought was really, really powerful. I loved the work that they did with like the wings, and then the mom initially kind of clipping the wings and how she responded and reacted to all of that, and that it kind of gave her the confidence at the end to leave, which I thought was really awesome. I really liked it. I thought that it was really well done, and visually it was really pretty as well.
What a delicious movie. Just everything about it. I love the lighting, the color schemes that were chosen, the way the colors were used to really give that sense of a mixture of fantasy and reality, which is another thing that I really loved about this film. That transition through the starry sky with the shooting stars that brought us into the fairy tale world was just so beautifully executed, and the whole movie was like that. It was just the colors, the performances were spot on. I really liked the way that this film explored a very serious subject, but through the eyes of the failed fairy tale. So it had that sense of fantasy throughout it. The use of the music, the soundtrack for this is just like in places just so subtle. It wasn't overwhelming. It underscored everything just very beautifully. The cinematography, the sets, the framing of the camera work was just so effective to bring us right into a very personal space, and the way that it came out to bring us more into the fantasy world, and the way it ended with that beautiful song, and we were just left with a sense of hope for this character who's breaking out of the cycle that had brought her into the world that she found herself in just before the end of the movie. Just top notch all the way.
I feel like the film draws a lot of interesting contrasts, like the opening shot where it's all light colors. It's kind of like this ethereal like setting, but she's in like a coffin, and then the light almost becomes like impending, and it kind of switches. And I think that they do that throughout the film. Like there's the childhood innocence contrast, where it's kind of like that versus reality and like escapism and all of that stuff. And I think that this really explores their relationships well, and it's a really real look into instances of domestic abuse and family situations. And the scene where the mother is like apologizing to her unborn child is absolutely heartbreaking. It's so real, and it's really well acted. And I like how it kind of ends in that like twisted, surreal, almost fantasy world. Just throughout it, the videography is just beautiful. I love the symbol of the clipped wings. It's just really well thought through. It's a really beautiful film. It's well acted, and even like down to the credits where it's the wedding footage. I just think they did a really good job with it overall.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. What a touching and heartwarming story. I'm smiling because the credits with all of the cast and crew having their childhood pictures was just such a perfect touch to this gorgeous piece of art. I love the concept of this. I love just how beautiful those kind of dream sequences were, and the freedom that these women were able to achieve finally after being captured and held on to for so long. I thought the shots were stunning, like even the opening shot of her in the open coffin and just being scattered with tea leaves and flowers and butterflies, and it was so beautiful but so dark at the same time. And I just thought that this was just so masterfully done, with the intercutting of the dream sequences, the reality, and then also the like home video footage of the wedding. I loved every single thing about this, and the symbolism, all of it. 11 out of 10. Great job.